Hey guys, in today's video we're reviewing another Pinty product. This is the Nightfall MK2 and this thing is way better than it was before. And I want to go over what they did. So if you don't know, last year they actually came out with the MK1 and a lot of people had issues with the trigger. Now Pinty came in and fixed it. This thing does not have anything in the chamber. I blinked, it's a little loud. Anyway, they fixed it and it's so much better. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing the MK2 out. We're going to be testing at 50 yards, going over some chronograph testing we're going to be messing around with this hammer wheel right here. We're going to be testing that. Then what we're going to be doing is we are going to be testing different pellets and stuff at 50 yards. Half by 20 UNF, that's also something that changed, I forgot to mention that. So now you can put any moderator you want. I got the Red Corn Outdoors one. Awesome freaking moderator. Then I also got a Harris bipod replica looking thing from Pinty. They sent me this with it. This is a package that you can purchase yourself and you can get a very, very nice bipod as well as the gun itself. So enough of the yapping, let's dive right into this video. Alright, we are going to be doing a chronograph test. I also wanted to do a sound test to show you guys how much this moderator actually helps. What we got here is a different moderator on here. This is actually the Red Corn Outdoors one. Fantastic moderator. I put this one on because it's actually quieter than the stock one, but I wanted to show you guys that the stock one does an extremely good job at quieting it down. For the chronograph testing, we have Crosman hollow points 14.3 and JTS 22 18.1 grain pellets. And I got this goofy cat right here that keeps pawing at me. Anyway, enough of the yapping. We have a full tank of air. I think what we're going to do is we're going to shoot probably about 5 Crosman hollow points and then we'll do 5 JTS 18 grains. You guys can see that. We're going to do 5 shots of each, 5 shots of Crosman hollow points and 5 shots of JTS pellets. So first shot, Crosman hollow points. 935. That's a little bit faster than I would like these Crosman hollow points to be going. 930. 941. 936, and then this will 932. So it seems pretty consistent. Let's move on to these guys. These guys are a little bit bigger a pellet compared to the Crosman hollow points. 861. 873. 874. I think that was the third shot. I think that's 873. Actually, did that not read? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that is the fifth shot. 874. So that was very consistent. Wow. Okay. Dang. Now I think what we're going to do with the Crosman hollow points is I want to crank the hammer spring all the way up and see what speeds we get with the hammer spring all the way up with just Crosman hollow points. So we're going to go, I'm going to try to remember that. We're going to go up here all the way up on the highest setting now. That's sometimes how they go. So see, 933. But we have the hammer spring all the way up. I'm just gonna take 3 shots of these. 934. 935. Holy crap, that might be a good tune. Maybe shoving the thing up as high as it can go is a good thing. Now I'm gonna try it on its lowest setting. I'm just gonna turn it down all the way to the very lowest that it can go and see what we get there. Actually, we're gonna try it halfway. We'll take a couple shots with it halfway. This is, so with the hammer spring halfway, 927, we'll just take one more. 931, interesting. Okay, we're gonna turn it all the way down. All right, so we're at the lowest setting. Now, I'm starting to be curious if this hammer spring is actually doing anything. If I'm being honest. Oh, no, not really. This hammer spring doesn't do much. Interesting. Now, I do know with tuning, 918, dang. I do know with tuning, you actually do want to, with tuning, show my face here. Okay, so actually, I do know with tuning, what you actually want to do is you don't use the hammer spring to adjust speed. You actually use the regulator. Now, since this is a Huben regulator in there, we can actually go in there and change the speeds by adjusting the regulator. The hammer spring is just so you can get some consistent hits on the regulator. It's not necessarily for changing the speed of the gun. Now, it does matter depending on what the regulator's at. So everything comes into play. The hammer spring isn't necessarily going to change the speed. Now, if you did have a transfer port restrictor, that would most definitely change the speed. But since this is for basically tuning, if your regulator is set, if it's set just perfect, it doesn't really matter what you have the hammer spring on. I don't know. It's just, this hammer spring might be a little bit too weak. I don't really necessarily know. But yeah, so it doesn't seem like the hammer spring adjuster does much of a difference, but it will help tune it. You can use it to help tune it, but for changing the speeds, I don't think this is necessary for that. I think if you want to change the speed, what you're going to want to do is you go in and actually adjust the regulator. Now what I want to do is I want to test the moderator to see how actually well the moderator does. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to test the moderator. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a control test first. We are going to remove the Redcorn Outdoors moderator with a threaded insert. He adds threaded inserts into his moderators, which is awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use Crossman hollow points. We're going to load one in. This is with no moderator. What we're going to do is I'm going to put my mic kind of close to it, just like to the side next to the barrel. Oh! I probably should be wearing ear protection with that. That was very loud. Now what we're gonna do is I'm going to grab wherever it is, here it is, stock moderator. We're going to screw that on. This is just the stock one. It only has 3 baffles. I looked in there, just 3 baffles. So yeah, 3 baffles. Now we are under some trees, so there's a little bit more echo that can kind of go on. We're gonna grab the mic, set it right here. A little bit more snappy, but it's not much of a pop like the other test with the no moderator. It's a little bit snappy, but it's not as bad. Now my Rodin moderator I have on the striker, the Pinty striker, and I cannot get it off. It's like welded to the freaking thing. So my, yeah, I'm trying to get my Ronin off. I need to get some pliers and get that sucker off. It's just not wanting to come off. All right, now we're gonna try this Redcorn Outdoors one. Redcorn Outdoors sell these very affordably. So if you wanna pick yourself up one, definitely go ahead and do so. He sent this one to me and I love it. He sent me a prototype and I said, that's awesome. I think if you added threaded inserts, it'd be even better. And he did that, and it's insane. I love it. So this is Redcorn Outdoors. You can tell it's a lot less of a, like, it's a little bit quieter. A couple decimals probably quieter. So that, I just wanted to show you guys that this included moderator is awesome. I'm throwing it, oops. And it's metal. You can probably hear that. This thing works wonders compared to having no moderator, which most guns will either put baffles that stay on the gun that you can't take off, or they just won't include a moderator at all. So I really like the fact that they included a moderator that you can remove, and it's 1/2 by 20. So I can go and screw my own on there. So that's the chronograph test and the moderator test. I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys that it works wonders. So I think depending on where I put the accuracy, this will either be toward the end of the video. I'll probably put the accuracy before all this testing. But anyway, go on to the next part. Okay, so we're gonna be doing the accuracy testing. Now I know some of you guys want to see my beautiful face, while we shoot. But that can't happen today because all of my cards have important stuff on it, and I don't have a GoPro or an SD card that has storage. So anyway, you guys can't see my beautiful face. What we're going to be doing is we're just going to be shooting, and you guys are going to be able to see the target. We're going to be trying Crossman Hollow Points 14.3 and JTS 18 grain pellets. We're going to be doing this at 55 yards. There is a little bit of a breeze today, but I cannot wait any longer. I've waited way too long, and I have not got a single day that wasn't windy like it is right now. There's about probably 7-mile-an-hour wind. You're gonna have to deal with it. I cannot get any other day, and it's gonna be raining the next week, and I don't know, I just can't find time for it. So I'm gonna use this day that I've been provided, and that's what we're gonna be doing. So I'm gonna point you guys around at the target, and we'll start shooting. We're gonna probably do a group of 10 with Crossman Hollow Points and a group of 10 of JTS green or 18 grain pellets. So let's go. All right, so excuse the group to the left. I was just sighting it in. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go, I'm thinking on that green circle. Not bad. For Crossman Hollow Points, I am pleased with that. So now I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for JTS pellets. I'm gonna stop right there. Those are not very good. So yeah, that's the JTS pellets. Let's go take a closer look. Alright, so these are the JTS pellets. This is horrible. But here's the Crossman Hollow Points. So right here are the Crossman Hollow Points. I believe this shot isn't a part of the group, but it's like that right there. My thumb somewhat covers that. Now, I do think that this has potential, and I do think that I can make this shoot better than that. Let's go back to the table and we'll talk about this gun a little bit and end this video off. For the accuracy testing, this is what I had the hammer spring set at, and this, honestly, these didn't give me the best results, and I'm kind of not very happy with this hammer spring setting. Oh, that was very Got him. Careful, like what I show, but you guys can see that right behind it. I'm not gonna show much of it because it's kind of bloody. We got a Starling though. Pretty freaking cool. And let me tell you, this thing, that thing right there, that gun, Crossman Hollow Points, is a monster. It completely destroyed it. So MK2 is doing in the work. Again, I'm not going to show it because it's a little bit graphic, but it did it in. All right, so I want to talk about the Pinty Night Fall here. Now, I do think that this gun didn't shoot very good from what we had it, and basically what I did for this initial review is I just threw the hammer spring around, and I didn't really necessarily spend too much time on that because this is factory set on the lowest setting that it comes with. So I don't think that they really tune it either. I think they leave it up to the user. Now what we're gonna do is, if you guys want me to, what I'll do is I'll go and make a separate video where I spend more time actually tuning this thing, and we'll see if I can get this thing to shoot a lot better. The groups with the Crossman Hollow Points were promising, and I think it could definitely do better than that. I don't think this gun's shot. Yeah. I don't think that this gun is a bad gun. I think all it needs is some tuning, and then I think I can get it to shoot pretty good. Now, I want to talk about some of the pros and the cons that I found of this gun. So I liked how they added a moderator and a 1/2x20 UNF. I really think that adding the 1/2x20 threads here made this thing a lot better. Now the MK1, I believe, didn't actually have the ability to do that. It had some wonky threads. So this is awesome, and I love how they provide this little moderator here, and it does a great job like you guys saw in the video. I love how they went with a completely all metal almost construction. Now this is polymer, this is polymer, I believe the trigger's polymer, and some things here and there. But it's metal where it needs to be, and it's awesome. This is all metal, and this is all like one machine block, making it very hard to make this thing get unsighted in, and that is fantastic. Now if you go with the bipod kit, like what I have here, it comes with this awesome Harris looking bipod, and it works extraordinarily well. I also like that the tunability of the hammer spring is right here. That's awesome. They also they put a cricket valve in here. That is a very well-known regulator. It's by Huben, and they do a fantastic job. It's what I have for my Notos, and I love it. I love how they added that the trigger is a little bit lighter. Now I would like to see, the trigger is not like match grade or anything. It's a little bit like kind of squishy, it's smooth, but it's like, it feels like a brake barrel trigger, honestly. But the trigger is a lot better than what I've heard from the MK1. I would like to see maybe an adjustment thing here where I can adjust it a little bit easier. Another thing is, I think that's actually all the pros the pros that I found. Everything is awesome. It's super smooth, and I really like it. Now there is an issue that I found, and this is something that you guys are gonna have to keep in mind big time. This will affect your shots. Now, you see this bolt, I'm gonna push it forward. I'm gonna bring it back. It's wiggly. So what ends up happening is this is the actual hammer mechanism. So you guys can see that there's nothing there. There's no bullets in it. Watch this. That right there comes down, that cylinder, that's the hammer. So what happens is if this is wiggly, if you have it pushed a little forward, it's not going to hit this valve flushly every single time, and what you're going to end up getting is inconsistent strikes, and it'll drop by almost like 100 FPS. So when you bring this back, make sure this is flush up against there and pushed up against that, and you should have no issues. I did testing, and what I found is as long as it's put in that spot, as long as it's pressed up against it, you're a-okay. What do I think about this gun? I think it has great potential. I love it aesthetically. It looks like a space gun. It looks like you could, if you're like a space marine or something like that, take out some aliens with this guy right here. So I really think this is an awesome gun. Aesthetically, it looks good, and it performs really well. I'm just gonna work on the accuracy, and if you guys want to see me again, put it down in the comments if you're interested in seeing me mess with this gun and tune it and see if I can get this thing to be a Crossman hollow point machine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. Huge thank you to Pinty for sending this gun out to me. They're letting me keep it too, which is fantastic. I love the fact that they're letting me do that. If you guys want to see more from this gun, definitely put it down in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one. If you want to pick yourself up one, link in the description or comments. See ya!